Hey, good morning. All right. So we're going to go over a couple of worksheets from a couple days ago. So this is from 2 days ago. You're good, Max? And here we are trying to find equivalent fractions. And so we just look and so if I look here, I go 7. I need 7 to multiply by 2 gives me 14. So then so it's 14 divided by 2, so 12 divided by 2 is 6. How do we get from 1 to 2? How do we get from 1 to 2? I multiply by 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. How do we get from 3 to 6? I multiply by 2. Whatever I do to the top, I do to the bottom. 5 times 2 is 10. Here I go, how do I get from 2 to 4? So how do I get from 4 to 2? I divide by 2. So then I go 10 divided by 2 for 5. How do I get from 5 to 10? I multiply by 2. 1 times 2 is 2. How do I go from 5 to 10? I multiply by 2, so I go 4 times 2, 8. How do I get from 2 to 6? Or how do I get from 6 to 2? I divide by 3, so I divide this by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. How do I get from 3 to 1? I divide by 3 equals 1, so if I do the top, do the bottom. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay. Continues on. So how do I go from 6 to 3? I divide by 2. So then 8 divided by 2 is 4. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 24 divided by, well, how do I do this? Well, I get my calculator, I go 24 divided by 3, and I get 8. So 24 divided by 8, so 40 divided by 8, that's 5. 2 times what equals 14? 2 times 7, so 1 times 7. 44 to 11 divided by 4, so 4 divided by 4 is 1. How do I go from 14 to, so I divide by 2, so 18 divided by 2 is 9. Multiply by 3, from 6 times 3 is 18, so 9 times 3, 27. All right, so that's 2 days homework. Yesterday's homework, or yesterday's work, Max right here, was we're changing to an improper fraction. Okay, so if we start at the bottom, the denominator, and we multiply, so we go 2 times 3 plus 1, keep the bottom. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Keep the bottom. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 2 is 14. Okay, keep the bottom. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. Keep the bottom. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 3 is 13. Next one. Keep the bottom. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus 1 is 21. Go to the next one. Keep the bottom. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. Keep the bottom. Keep the bottom. 8 times 10 is 80 plus 1 is 81. Next one, keep the bottom. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 over 2. Okay. So that's the easy one. This is the difficult one today. This is going back the other way. So, how many 5s are in 6? There's one of them, and it goes 5, with 1 remaining. So I'm going to have a big 1 up top, keep the bottom. Right? Keep the bottom. My pen's dying here. Go back to green. I'm going to green. Alright, boom. Keep the bottom. How many 2s are in 4? In 5, I mean. There's 2 of them. Gets 4, 1 remaining. So, big 2. And this one goes up there. Okay, 3 and 7, keep the bottom. Okay, 3 into 7, how many times? Twice. 3 times 2 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. So big number, 2, 1, there. Okay, yeah, why don't you stand up? Okay, so then we have 10 to 16. 10. How many times is 10 go to 16? It goes in once. 10. Remainder 6. So this big one is here. 6 is at top, keep the bottom. 4 into 9 goes twice. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 remaining. Big 2 goes here. The 1 goes up top, keep the bottom. Maybe I should do this in pencil. It's hard to see with all green. I got another red. Let's see if this works. Okay, this one, 6 into 9, 6 into 9 once. 6 times 1 is 6, remainder 3. So the 1, big 1, 3 on top, keep the bottom. How many times is 5? Going to 21. 5 goes into 21. 4 times 5 times 4 is 20. Remainder 1. Big 4, 1 on top. Keep the 5. Keep the number on the bottom. 3 goes into 14. 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. 2. 2 up top. Big 4. Okay? So that's that sort of stuff. Okay, so that's changing mixed number into an improper fraction. If you go on to in the YouTube videos, I tell you what IXL to go to. All right, so today's work. Today's work, we're going to compare. We're comparing fractions. So when we see one like this, where the bottoms, the denominators are the same, it's very easy to compare, right? We know this one's smaller, so we know that it's going to go like that. Okay, but when we get down to here, it gets a little more difficult. So what we want to do here is we want to make sure that our denominators match. So we've worked on that. We've worked on making our denominators match. Today we're also going to look at word problems like this. So in your book, so if we go to grade 6, J9, start at J7, and then go to J8. By J9, you get words like this. Here's an example problem. Food Basics found that 1/7 of customers brought produce, that's like fruit and vegetables, and 5/7 of customers brought processed food. So that's food made in a factory. Which purchase was made by a greater fraction of customers? So which one is bigger? Well, we look at it and it's easy. The denominators match. So this one's bigger. So that one's easy. Okay? Okay. But we get to a question like this where our denominators are not going to match. We have a question like this. Last week, Shrey's Summerwear sold 5/6 of its bathing suits in stock. Sucite Super Swim sold 2/9 of its bathing suits in stock. Which store sold a greater fraction of the bathing suits in stock? Well, here we don't have the denominators matching. So we need to make the denominators match. So the best way we're going to do that is least common multiple. All right, so least common denominator. So I'm going to write all the multiples of 6 here. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to do 9s. 9, 18. Oh, I hit it. There's 18. Hit 18. All right, so I need the bottoms to equal 18. Well, what do I multiply 6 by to get to 18? 3. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So 5 times 3 is 15. So 15 over 18. What do I multiply 9 to get to 18? I multiply it by 2. So I multiply the same. So this is 4 over 18. So now it's very easy. You can tell which one sold more. Shrey's Summerwear sold more. Okay, so today's work, grade 6. Start at J7. It's an easy start. It got pictures. Then you go to J8 for work like this. And then go to J9 and you have word problems like this one, okay? And a lot of it's going to be this sort of stuff. So you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil. You're going to have to find the greatest, the least common multiple or the least common denominator. You have to match denominators like this. All right, everybody? Okay.